I found out I was pregnant when I'd just got back from doing judges' houses for X Factor, and I'd been in Barbados for the week, and I was feeling a little bit weird and kind of different, and I wasn't sure whether it was just the jet lag or the fact that I'd been working really hard. And I got home, and I was in the house on my own, and Dan was at work, and I did a pregnancy test then, and I was like, oh! And it was the longest 6 hours waiting for Dan to come home so that I could tell him all about it. But yeah, I was on my own. The first person I told was Dan, and it was just ridiculous. The moment he walked in from work, I was just like, hi, you alright? I started talking really fast. He was like, are you alright? Is everything okay? What's happened? And he knew something was up. And he hadn't even taken his shoes off or put his coat down before I went, honey, baby. And then he had to sit down. But he was excited. The most surprising thing about being pregnant is that obviously billions of women do it worldwide, and yet it's still such a secret. Like, the strange things that go on that they don't tell you, and then the moment you're pregnant and you go, did that happen to you? And they're like, oh yes. With this kind of knowing look, like you've been welcomed into the club. So I think, and I'm learning fast, when you're pregnant you have to keep things secret from non-pregnant people for them to find out themselves. I haven't had any weird cravings. I've just craved all types of food. Particularly anything with icing on it tends to be, I've eaten quite a lot of that. I've eaten a lot of cereal. I've eaten more cereal than I've ever eaten before. Any time of day, it's not just a breakfast food anymore. If I had to give any advice about being pregnant, I'd go and get really good fitting underwear when you're pregnant, because actually finding clothes is hard enough, and you just don't want tight fitting things or bras that are too tight and they sort of dig in. So start with your underwear, make sure it's really good. And actually that's my advice to non-pregnant women as well. Always buy good bras and knickers. Now that I'm quite a long way on in my pregnancy, the birth is becoming more realistic and more real. And I've watched so many women giving birth on programmes, which I've become quite obsessed with, which at first terrified me, and now I'm kind of coming around to the idea. And I can't, you know what, I mean, I hope it doesn't happen, but if it did happen tomorrow, I'd be ready. I'm quite looking forward to it in a weird, sick way. Like, I don't want it obviously to be too painful, but I just probably, I have no idea what sort of mum I'll be. I can only hope to be the best that I can be. But, luckily, this baby's never been a baby before, as I've never been a mum before, so it won't know if I'm completely useless or completely brilliant. So we'll just have to get through it together. Obviously, when you're pregnant, you suddenly have this massive bump that comes up, and at first it sort of lulls you into a full sense of security, because it took a long time for it to go, and then suddenly, like overnight, it just popped out and was huge. So that's weird. It's weird not being able to see your own feet. Or if you forget what colour pants you're wearing, you can't just look down and see. Like, I have no idea. It's a mystery until I look in the mirror. So that's a bit weird. Your hair does get thicker, and it does grow, which is nice. My nails are like, I literally file them back down every week, and then they just go and grow again. So that's quite nice. I have no idea how many children I'd like. I think we'll definitely have more than one. I mean, in an ideal world, I'd have about 10. But I want to be able to look after them all properly. So if I was posh spice, I'd have 10. But seeing as I'm not, I'll probably have 2. Or maybe 3. I don't know yet.